I'm Mia Consalvo. I'm the Canada Research Chair in Game Studies and Design at Concordia University. And today I was presenting some research that I've done with Andy Phelps. We were looking at how game developers use Twitch and live streaming, because there's a lot more on Twitch that's being done now outside of people just playing games. And also, I've always been interested in developers and what they do, and it's always really hard to get access to that. Folks don't want to talk to you. Even if they do, it's always sort of reconstructing what they've done in the past. Well, I did this. But if they're live streaming, then you get to see them actually doing the job. And so we did a couple things. First, we looked at what they were writing on sites like Gamasutra and RGameDev and Medium.com, live streamers who are developers saying, here's what I was doing and why, like maybe if you're thinking about it, why you should consider it. And so they don't do it really to make money because they don't have enough followers to do that, but they think of it as marketing for their games. They also said it's a way to keep accountable. So if somebody is watching them, they can't slack off and just check their Facebook for 2 hours. They said it's a way to get help and feedback. Sometimes, like if they have other experts who are watching them, if they're having trouble. And also, it sometimes keeps them motivated. So if they have folks watching and chatting with them, sometimes it's a very solitary activity, so it gives them socialness and support, but also a sense that, hey, somebody's interested and I should keep going. So that was how we started, and then we ended up watching, we picked two streamers, developers, one who's a programmer and one who's an artist. They're both named Adam, which was a really poor choice, but it was who we chose. And we watched each one stream for about 2 hours. So it's really preliminary findings. What we found is that there's a lot of similarities to how they stream compared with like game players on Twitch. So like they have sort of community bonding time, they'll chat with their viewers, they might like talk about things outside of what they're doing, so like their weekend plans or movies that they like. But then they also, are doing the work of game development. It was pretty clear that they have different approaches to how they are thinking about their audience and the usefulness of the stream. And we were also curious if they used game talk, which is a concept that Casey O'Donnell writes about, where game developers will, refer to past games or mechanics as sort of shorthand to explain a really complex topic. And we were curious if they were doing that, and we didn't see any of that really going on. But again, we only really watched 4 hours of content. And so the idea is that we want to keep going with the research and watch more developers and see what they're doing, if this is kind of going to replicate itself or if there's more. And we also found just one other interesting thing is a big audience for a game developer is 100 or 150 viewers. Whereas if you're playing a game, you might have 50,000 viewers, that's a big audience. And so the scale is much smaller, but even at 100, you could have, if you're working, a really hard time sort of interacting with those people. I think that live streaming is, lots of people are trying it for different reasons, and that there's some overlaps between, the practices that are emerging and sort of conventions, but that we're going to see, different specialties emerge, different approaches, that respond to the different needs of the people who are doing their streaming and the types of streaming that they're doing.